Hi, greetings and welcome fellow YouTubers out there. This week we look at the psychological horror that is a chair in a room, as well as a blast from the past with Battlezone. All that coming up on this week's weekly update. Hi there. First up, the apologies. Sorry I wasn't active last week. Wasn't active for a couple of reasons. Firstly, although it was my missus's birthday last week, and I wanted to spend a little time with my missus, just relaxing and chilling out and just doing stuff together. I also wasn't active a lot of times because I was playing Star Citizen a lot. So suit me. I like to do this channel mostly just out of fun and enjoyment at the moment. And I do like just like sitting down playing a few odd games. So that's kind of where I was most of last week, because just enjoying a few games. I didn't really do anything on my channel. So sorry, please forgive me. As for the missus's birthday, we went out to a restaurant. Yes, and we'll have a nice little meal out in, yes, the restaurant a la front room. Yes, I basically cleaned up the front room a little bit, placed down a couple of tables and put chairs on either side, and then showed her, say, would you like to choose one of our fine menus here? So not just one, we got several menus here at Cafe a la Front Room. We have got the Indian takeaway. We also have Domino's pizza here. Or if you like, I can try and whip something up myself. What would you like? Anything is your command. She went for the Domino's pizza. So we enjoyed a nice night of food and drink with Domino's pizzas and alcohol. I think we did get some alcohol. Yeah, I think there was alcohol there at one point, eventually. But yeah, we had a good little night out in and watched, because we was like in the front room, we had like the TV right in front of us, so we could basically just enjoy whatever films or programs that she wanted to watch. And we ended up watching some films from Studio Ghibli. I think it was The Cat Returns. And a couple of other animes and mangas, and just a whole series of TV watching, and which was nice and relaxing and enjoyable. We kind of enjoyed that. But anyhow, that's enough for the previous week. For this week we did have a look at two interesting games. One of them, which was quite a surprise, which was a chair in a room. Now, I went into this game not really knowing what to expect. I think that some said that it was a psychological horror game. Others say it was a bit of a puzzle solver. And it was a bit of a gem. I actually quite enjoyed playing this. It was a psychological horror. By the way, spoilers alert in case you haven't played it or seen it. But the game in itself was mostly, you are this patient at an insane asylum. Yeah, we do love our psychological horrors starting off in an insane asylum. I mean, we had Inpatient, where it turned into a Wendigo. But here, you start off with as an inpatient, trying to work out what happened. And apparently you murdered someone. So you're going through your own memories, trying to figure out what happened. And each time you go into like these memories, it's sort of like a puzzle to try and figure out what you're trying to do. How sort of escape room type puzzle. So you go to one area, you have to try and work out what you need to do, look around, try and figure out the clues before moving on to the next section, getting the items that you need. As I said, it's very much like an escape room type scenarios. The psychological horror is there, quite intense. You certainly do feel like a few build-ups leading up to nothing, which is good. Which is good in some parts. Alfred Hitchcock, I think it was Alfred Hitchcock, that did it best. When you see like, there was like this scene in one of his films where there's a girl that's driving a little scooter around the corner. The music intensifies. You see her driving down another corridor. The music gets really intense. Then you turns the corner. The music is really gripping you. It's intensive. It's insane. Then the girl walks out. She goes into the next area and nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's just a girl driving down the corridor. But the music is there and it makes it so intensive that you really don't know what to expect. And I think it pays off really well. And in this game, as you go delve into this guy's insanity through loss, murder, suicide, and all the other sorts of things that goes on throughout the game, you kind of delve and go into his own insane mind whilst trying to work out these puzzles. And I enjoyed it. I really did like playing this game. It really does stop. I wouldn't say the story really gripped me because there wasn't really too much on the story, but I really did get into the game itself. Yeah, it was. It was quite a bit of a pleasure to play, even though I spent practically, I think, about an hour in the first puzzle room just trying to figure out how to select the next chapter. I mean, I really didn't quite understand what was going on there, and you looked up on the board and it says, you know, we're talking about birds, talking about the swan, and say the swan is on the lake. You need the lake swan. So I was thinking, okay, what does it mean by swan on the lake, swan on the water? Do I have to like fill the basin up and then put the swan onto the water? It took me quite a while to figure out where it actually read place clue here, and then I put the swan on there, and I was thinking, damn, if I'm this stupid at this level, at this point, I despair about how I'm going to handle the next. I'm no good at puzzles games, and I really am no good at puzzle games. But we got there in the end, and I had a pretty decent good playthrough of this story once I kind of gotten into the hang of it. And then the next game that we played was Battlezone. Now, Battlezone is an old game. It was one of the first games that I played on PSVR, and also one of the first games that I've ever played in an arcade back in like 1980 or like 1970 or like late 97 or like 1980, whenever it came out. If you guys don't know, but I'm sure almost every one of you who's watching this, i.e. just me and maybe one or two others, do know that Battlezone is an old arcade game that's like all lines. The entire battlefield is drawn out in lines, and it was probably one of the first that actually tried to create a 3D environment, not just like a top-down environment, but a full-blown 3D environment, which was just like tanks shooting at each other, and it was all like track-based and such. It was, and so that was games at that time. And when I first got the PlayStation VR, it was one of the first games we bought for it. Battlezone made a whole new remake envisioned from that first game. It is, and I did a pretty good job of this. So I remember when I first played it, I put the helmet on, and I could feel. I know it's interesting to say feel for something that's all visual, but I could feel the scale of things. I am sitting in a massive battle tank, and this is my arena that I have to work at, that I have to drive around in, and it was an awesome feeling when I first played that on PlayStation VR. And so we'll try to revisit that again the other day when I played it again. Now, originally, I know I'm going to be shooting myself in the foot here. Originally, when the game came out, it was incredibly difficult for anyone playing single player or playing solo, which is why you had to you had to play with other people. It was definitely a multiplayer game. But they've also put in a very extra easy level just for newer players or single solo players just playing. That was the level that I was playing. Yeah, the super easy beginner level. But I did manage to get all the way from the start to finish and destroyed the actual end boss mountain, which was actually quite a fun experience. And we had another guy that came along and joined in for our journey. So if you guys were ever interested in doing like network games, this is one of the games that I do recommend. I can't remember who it was, but I remember a couple of weeks back, someone asked me, do I play network games, or what network games do I play? And at that time, I was like stuttering, asking, "Oh yeah." Because you know, when you're put on the spot in a moment, you can never really think about what the answers should be because they are totally blindly obvious. And now that I've thought about it, I thought, yeah, I play a few good old network games. I've been playing network games such as like Werewolves Within. That was one of my favourite network games I used to play. Another one is Star Trek Bridge Crew. Battlezone, this game here that we're playing now, Battlezone. I used to love playing Battlezone to such an extent. I used to go around collecting all the tanks, doing hard and extreme missions just to try and see if we can get all those achievements. But yeah, but there are quite a few games out there that we like to play. Oh, No Man's Sky is another one. And if you want to go off virtual reality and onto 2D games, network games, you might want to come and join me in Star Citizen, do a little bit of bounty hunting together, or set up a mining operation. If you're interested in, if you've got interested in those sort of things, because yeah, I am really making way that. Oh, I just thought of something. A little surprise, yeah? One thing that we just done today, right, just a few minutes ago before I actually came in front of this camera, is I have done something that I thought that I wouldn't ever do for a long time because I just couldn't really afford it, and honestly I still can't. I had to beg, borrow and, well, not steal, but beg and borrow a lot to actually do this. But I'm getting myself a PC and I'm looking forward to that. I got the specs of the PC. It's an i5 PC, so I'm a little bit concerned about the fact that it's an i5. But if everything else is good, then the fact that it's an i5 and not an i7, it should be pretty decent. So I've got a NVIDIA GTX. What's it, 3060 graphics card, SSD hard drive for say 16 megabytes DDR4 RAM. Oh, I actually just bought, so I've just bought myself a pretty damn good, well, I'm hoping it's damn good, a pretty damn good PC, and it should be coming in the next few days. Now, originally I was thinking that I would be able to try and see if I can use that computer to try and do a little bit of PC VR gaming, because there are a lot of PC VR games out there that I just haven't been able to get a hand on. Boneworks, I want to try. I want to try my hand at Alex, and I should theoretically be able to do that with my Quest headset and the link cable that I've got with it. So hopefully I should be able to use the Quest to play some decent games. And if it's possible, I might have to start drilling holes in the house, but I might be able to even set it up to do mixed reality as well. it'll be cool, because I tried to do mixed reality on my laptop, but it just didn't work because there were so many problems with that. It just didn't work. So I might be able to add some mixed reality on it. But I just realised though, I've also got Elite Dangerous on my computer as well. I've always wanted to play Elite Dangerous on VR because it just looks like it will be so awesome to play that on Dangerous. So if that becomes a thing, then that might be something going forward, playing Elite Dangerous in VR as a nice chill out section. Just chill out playing Elite Dangerous. Why not? Yeah, so yeah, unfortunately it's not going to be, it is going to have to like be starting back from scratch, because the Elite Dangerous that I've got on my PlayStation was my main version that I had. Unfortunately you can't get that on VR. So if I go back to basics, starting from scratch with Elite Dangerous on my PC, and see how well that comes up. See how well that starts to improve in VR. I'm sure that will be something. But yeah, so the channel is going to be changing soon with the arrival of this new PC, and I'm sure we're going to be able to bring lots of stuff to us here. But anyhow, I think I should do a little bit of a wrap up now. Thanks very much for watching. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope you've enjoyed watching this as much as I've enjoyed in creating this. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys out there.